Emmanuel Macron warned that Britain would become as insignificant as the island of Guernsey if Britons voted to leave the EU in the 2016 referendum, unearthed reports reveal. Yesterday, French President Emmanuel Macron accused Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte of taking Brexit Britain's obstructive role at EU summits, as talks over a huge coronavirus rescue fund stretched into a fourth day on Monday. Mr. Macron's patience snapped as tensions deepened in the negotiations over the plans for a €750 billion coronavirus stimulus package and bolstered €1.1 trillion EU budget for 7 years from 2021. The package is backed by France, Germany, Spain, Italy and others but resisted by the «frugal four» of the Netherlands, Austria, Sweden and Denmark, who were joined by Finland on Sunday. Mr. Rutte has been at the forefront of a campaign not to give gifts to other European countries and has rejected all the emergency financial measures that would lead to debt mutualization. He and his allies have demanded more oversight of payments from the rescue fund, more of the cash to be loans rather than non-repayable grants and for the budget to be slimmed down. Mr. Macron accused Mr. Rutte of behaving like former Prime Minister David Cameron, who would often boast of battling for Britain in Brussels. Mr. Cameron's strategy of taking a hard line in summits for domestic political gain ended badly, with him losing the Brexit referendum and his job, Mr. Macron told Mr. Rutte last night. As tensions between EU members rise, unearthed reports find Mr. Macron guilty of an error of judgment. As before the 2016 EU referendum, he warned that if the UK left the EU, it risked isolating itself as a tiny trading post on the edge of Europe, akin to the Channel island Guernsey. Mr. Macron, who at the time was just France's economy minister, told Le Monde 4 years ago, "If I was British, I would vote resolutely, remain because it's in the UK's interest." Leaving the EU would mean the Guernseyfication of the UK, which would then be a little country on the world scale. It would isolate itself and become a trading post and arbitration place at Europe's border. In the interview days before the UK's referendum, Mr. Macron was also asked what status Britain would have after Brexit. He said that within a week of a vote to leave, the European Council would collectively send a very firm message and timetable on the consequences of Brexit. He said, "In the interests of the EU, we can't leave any margin of ambiguity or let too much time go by. You're either in or you're out."